parachute over Niagara Falls, 3 things have to go right for Robert Overacker. He has to break free from the jet ski. The parachute has to open, and he has to float down under it before hitting the water below. In the next few seconds, those 3 steps must happen perfectly. If they don't, the outcome is fatal. Robert Overacker, 39, stunt school graduate. Originally from Camarillo, California. Back home, his life was ordinary. What wasn't ordinary? The stunt Robert had been planning for 7 years. The idea was simple: use a big, high-risk stunt to draw attention to homelessness and survive it. The stunt consisted of him riding a jet ski over the edge of Niagara Falls and launching a parachute afterwards. He wanted people to see the message, "Save the homeless," printed in bold on the side of his jet ski's hull, and make a difference. However, Robert had tried to do the stunt on 2 previous occasions, but his friends had managed to talk him out of it. Undeterred, Robert prepared like a technician, studying current lines, wind, and spray, choosing a clear day so cameras would catch everything, aiming for a time when the viewing platforms were full. Witnesses mattered, both to spread the message if it worked and to bring help fast if it didn't. Everything about the attempt was built to end the same way, under a parachute, in one piece, walking away. What he believed, or what he had to believe, was that preparation could buy him control. If every step were fired in sequence, Niagara Falls could be reduced to timing. Niagara isn't one waterfall, it's 2. The American Falls are smaller and end on a field of house-sized boulders. If you go over there, by accident or on purpose, you hit rock. In contrast, the Canadian Horseshoe Falls sweep into a deep plunge pool. That depth is the only reason anyone attempting a stunt even considers this side. If you're going to try the impossible, you aim for Horseshoe. But who is at risk here? Anyone who ends up in the river, tourists who slip, people in boats that capsize, and daredevils like Robert. And what makes it deadly isn't just the height, it's the speed and the lack of time. Upstream looks calm, then fast. The river tilts, the roar gets so loud it crowds out your thoughts, and the mist turns the air to grit on your face. Across the river is an invisible brink line, a point of no return. Once you cross it, you can't stop, turn, or try again. You're going over with whatever gear you brought. On Robert's back was a rocket-assisted parachute, a pack meant to fire as he went over the lip, yank him cleanly away from the jet ski, and put a canopy over his head within seconds. It had to work in this order. 1. Detach. The rocket pulls him off the ski so he isn't dragged or tangled in its path. 2. Open. The pack releases, the lines run out, and the canopy fills, fast and centered. 3. Descend. He settles under the chute, stable enough to meet the plunge pool breathing, not tumbling. That's the whole plan. 3 steps, no slack. If separation doesn't happen, he's entangled. If the canopy doesn't open, there's nothing above him. If a strap or line comes free, the parachute isn't his anymore. And all of this has to happen in mist, in swirling wind, with only a few seconds of sky before the water takes him. On a clear Sunday, he brought that plan to Niagara. Sunday, October 1st, 1995, 12:35 p.m. The sky is bright and visibility is good. On the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, tourists pack the viewing platforms, leaning over the railings, camcorders, and disposable cameras point toward the spray. In a video filmed by German tourist Manfred Baldus, Robert sits on a jet ski in the river with a parachute pack strapped to his back. He idles, then slowly rides upstream, turning back again as he lines up for the run. Written on the side of the jet ski are the words, "Save the homeless." Small letters meant for a very big stage. The river looks calm from far away. Near the brink, it surges forward. The roar hits like pressure in the chest. Robert knows what needs to work for him to survive. Get clear of the jet ski, open the parachute, and come down safely. At this point, he may be running through the steps in his head, or just focusing on keeping his breathing steady before he begins. The last half minute to the brink is like stepping onto a moving walkway. Once you commit, it carries you whether you're ready or not. There is no way to stop. When Robert turns in for the run, people start counting. Mist hits his visor. 9. The sound grows heavier. 8. 7. The edge is close now. 6. He keeps the jet ski steady. 5. 4. 3. No stopping now. 2. A final breath. 1. Robert reaches the edge and vanishes into the mist. As the jet ski dropped over the edge of Horseshoe Falls, Robert raised his arms above his head before disappearing from view. At this point, the rocket pack on his back was supposed to yank him clear of the jet ski and pop a parachute over his head. It didn't. Reports from that day say the parachute never opened. Some later local accounts claim it opened, but wasn't attached and drifted away. That detail isn't in the first police or wire reports. Either way, there's no canopy over Robert. He has only seconds. There's no time to fix anything in mid-air. Robert falls straight into the spray. The mist swallows him, and the crowd loses sight. Below the falls, rescue crews move into action. When Robert disappears into the mist, the outlook changes in seconds. People on the railings gasp, shout, and start pointing downstream. Several call emergency services. Niagara Park's police radios crackle to life. From a distance, some thought he was still alive, still fighting the current. In reality, later reports suggested the rapids were moving Robert's body, making it appear as though he was swimming. At around this time, the crew aboard the Maid of the Mist, the blue poncho tour boat that runs beneath Horseshoe Falls, see a figure in the foaming water. The crew swings the boat toward Robert, throws a life ring, and reaches down with boat hooks to pull him aboard. At the dock, the crew handed him to waiting responders. Paramedics check for a pulse, start CPR, and ventilate as they move him to the ambulance. Bystanders are crying. Some keep filming. Others pray out loud. The siren takes him to Greater Niagara General Hospital. Despite continued efforts, Robert Overacker was pronounced dead about an hour after the stunt began. Early news reports noted no obvious injuries, but later reports said he drowned. After his death, Parks police dispatcher Tom Dettenbeck described the impact in stark terms, saying that hitting the water from that height was like hitting cement. The fatal result meant that Robert became the 15th person since 1901 to go over Niagara Falls intentionally, either in or on a device. However, one detail stays unclear. Did the parachute never open, or did it open and come loose? Officials treated it as a failed stunt and accidental death. Niagara Parks police and local reports listed the cause as drowning after parachute failure. Robert's jet ski was recovered, still marked with "Save the Homeless" along the side. Photos of the ski and the attempt ran in news coverage, and his story has since been included in Niagara Daredevil retrospectives that document past stunts at the falls. In the public retelling, two versions keep circulating. The parachute didn't open and It opened, but wasn't attached. There isn't a definitive official line that settles that detail. What is clear is the outcome. Robert reached the water without a working canopy overhead. That leaves the questions people continue to ask. How exactly did the gear fail? How long had he rehearsed this stunt? Did the message on the ski, "Save the homeless," feel worth the risk to him? Those questions, sadly, will never be answered. Stand at Horseshoe Falls, and you cannot see the brink line, but it's there, drawn across the river like a tripwire. On one side, your choices. On the other hand, the waters. Robert Overacker's plan needed 3 green lights in a row. Detach, open, descend. He got none. And at 12:35 p.m., Niagara decided the outcome.